Dear Christian in the whole world and dear American President, dear European Union. This is Günther Fellinger-Jahn speaking. I'm calling here from Vienna to recognize the Republic of Biafra. Biafra in ex-Nigeria, Nigeria to my regret, and this is a non-working state, and they have committed genocide in 1967 to 1970 against the Christians of Biafra and the people of Biafra, and now they are all well, since the last 15 years, living in terrible conditions. They are often led for some jihadists to kill them, and there is atrocities about atrocities. And it's much better for the people of Nigeria if Biafra becomes their own state, and they can sort out then inside Nigeria the other issues, or maybe there will be other regions which are better off in this non-working state of Nigeria. So ex-Nigeria must start with Biafra, and the international community, contrary to the 1960s and 70s, must support the independence of Biafra Republic. In the 1967-90, that tragic years, the West was at its weakest. There was the Vietnam War, and tragically Nixon, who was positive for the people of Biafra, but he did very little, and I want to apologize for his failures, and I want to especially criticize and also apologize for the Imperial UK and French governments who were actually supporting, due to all interests, Nigerian centralists crackdown on the poor people of Biafra. And we, as Christians, as Europeans, should absolutely stand with Biafra and support them. And that's why I call on President Trump and on the European leaders, Ursula von der Leyen, please, I beg you, I pray, recognize the Republic of Biafra. It's no need for military intervention or these things. Just do the political steps of recognition of these poor people to have their own state, to live in security, and of course then recognition goes with the ability to be recognized and also to defend yourself. It's much better than having a military intervention in Nigeria, having the Biafra Republic equipped and armed to be able to defend herself against the potential invasion from the Nigerian centralist forces of that failed state. And so here the defense comes with the recognition, and that's exactly how we should do. Biafra Republic, please my friends, I beg you, recognize it and build a strong, viable state, part of the free world, and that's what I call the Fellinger doctrine and also the Fellinger economics. Build a decent state, part of the free world, no BRICS but OECD, no kind of alignment with genocidal Russia, but alignment with America, with the European Union, with the free world, and we will have a free trade agreement, open economics, of course the flat tax, I like very much, and the currency, which Nigeria never did, to join the Euro-Pact area. This is the best policy for West Africa, and Biafra will be a proud member of the Euro-Pact area, and this will be delivering much more prosperity in the future, and we will trade and we will work together in the global partnership of NATO, and this is my call for Biafra Republic to be independent and to be part of the free world alongside Fellinger doctrine and Fellinger economics. And I thank you very much for your attention. Please, President Trump, please, Ursula von der Leyen, be on the side of the light, of the good people of Biafra, of the Christians of Africa, and allow them their own state to live in security and peace and prosperity. Dear friends from Biafra, I want to thank you all for following me so much, and I want to talk about Nigeria, so-called ex-Nigeria. Please use this term ex-Nigeria, and please, Nigeria is the Yugoslavia of Africa. Please, it is absolutely vital to study the role model of former Yugoslavia, of ex-Yugoslavia. It was also a powerful state in its time. For 40 years it was a prison of nations. It was horror and terror, striking terror in the Austrians and in their neighbors' minds and hearts. And everybody was afraid, internal and external, of Yugoslavia. And by the way, have you heard about it recently? No, it fell apart, it's no more, it's over and out, and there are 7 new states out of this terrible horror prison of nations, the ex-Yugoslavia, the ex-Nigeria. Here's the parallel. Also, when there will be more states developing out of ex-Nigeria, like Biafra Republic, similar to Kosovo, it will be wonderful to have it, and you will be living much better. And this I can only recommend you to follow that role model. NATO-led intervention, support measures, independence referendum, Fellinger economics, Fellinger doctrine. This is the way, and it is already done in Kosovo. You can do it as well. It works very well. The American support is, of course, essential, and you have it with Ted Cruz and the president yesterday's message. And then, of course, the Declaration of Independence you did already. Now it must be internationally recognized and then, of course, established. Yeah? If you have to fight for, like the Croatians, that will be necessary. If you have to fight for, like in Kosovo, it was peaceful. It was peaceful, and that was maybe the moment to have the Ibrahim Rogova for Biafra, and then to follow in that direction and to resist against the Nigerian state institutions, and always to use the role model of ex-Yugoslavian breakup, because it has led to the prosperity of the new countries which are now in NATO and in the EU. Slovenia, Croatia, extremely successful countries. Less successful maybe Bosnia and Kosovo, but rising very fast because they were extremely poor. And now they are really decent countries. I know them very well. I worked and lived in many of them. And this is the role model for ex-Nigeria. It will be much better. Because why? You have a state which you like. You share the responsibilities. It will defend you. You can live in and invest in prosperity. And there will be no harm done to anybody in Biafra. And that will be much better, of course. Then you want to invest. You have the diaspora investment. You do all the mechanisms which we have done in Eastern Europe so successful in ex-Yugoslavia. We know exactly how to do it. Come and study how it was in Kosovo, Montenegro, Macedonia, and of course in Serbia. That will be the rump state of mini Nigeria. And there will be it will be a substantial state. It will be absolutely viable, and so will be Biafra. So please have no fear. It was all done before. Study the role model of ex-Yugoslavia for ex-Nigeria and work for freedom, and study what was done in Kosovo by advisors like me, and it was very successful. And it can be the same for Biafra. The time is now. Freedom will come. Ex-Nigeria is coming. Please recognize the Biafra Republic. Thanks a lot from Vienna. Bye.